Konnichiwa! In today's video, we're going to be discussing why you should consider picking up a PlayStation Classic. Game on! What? You like retro gaming too? Well, if you like this video, then why not consider subscribing by clicking on this little icon below. So you're thinking about buying a PlayStation Classic, but everywhere you look, you're getting reviews like this. PlayStation Classic has come under a lot of criticism. The games catalogue isn't particularly stellar. It is using an open source emulator, and the joypads are the original joypads and not the DualShock Rumble joypads. But is there a reason you should consider buying it? I think there is. Firstly, I think the opinions raised by others are perfectly valid, but the people that are raising these concerns are retro game collectors, hardcore gamers, people that have a kind of certain expectation from a classic console. Customization, scan lines, games catalog. For these people, these classic or mini consoles represent the best that that genre or console had to offer, and so it's a collectible in itself. But should you have the same concerns they have? The biggest criticism of the PlayStation Classic is definitely the games catalog. Now, whilst it's got some stunning, absolutely stellar games in there, there are some kind of second tier games which most people will love. There's like Wild Arms, which is an absolutely brilliant game, but then you have about 4 or 5 games, and when compared to Nintendo's consoles, where nearly every single game on there was an absolutely stunning game, it doesn't hold up as well. But why is that? My theory is that this comes down to cost and licensing. We also saw IP, and with IP comes royalties. And so when you see videos talking about why there's no Gran Turismo, just think, all those car manufacturers will now be wanting a slice of the PlayStation Classic's profits if you put that game on there. Wipeout fans, you wouldn't be able to have that music track on there because you have to go back and license all the tracks again. And this is going to be a big problem for mini consoles moving forwards, as game developers use more and more IP licensed product to make their games. Now, when we think of licensing, we think of things like the likeness of someone, a celebrity, a car, music. But actually, game developers started licensing a lot more material to help them build these 32-bit games. Things like texture packs, models, game engines, sound libraries. Suddenly, all these companies that contributed to the original development of the game would be entitled to a royalty off the sales of the PlayStation Classic. And so when we look at the PlayStation Classic's library of games, licensing is probably the reason why we're not seeing games like Wipeout, Gran Turismo, and Crash Bandicoot. I was kind of put off by the catalogue, but then when I thought about who would this actually appeal to, I think it kind of appeals to gamers that are no longer gamers, or people that are more casual. If you're a lapsed gamer or someone that just doesn't have the time to play games anymore, but you still want that nostalgia hit of your old PlayStation games, then this console is definitely for you. There are some fantastic games on there. The PlayStation Classic is also a well-crafted machine. We have the power button for power. There's the reset button where you can reset the game and go back into the menu system, and there's an open button. Now, the open button doesn't open the console because there's nothing really to put in there, but when you click on the button, it allows you to switch the discs from multi-disc games virtually. So Final Fantasy VII, which is 4 discs, you'll be able to kind of go through the motion of changing the disc. The console is also HDMI out, so it's plug and play. This console is an easy entry level into 32-bit classic gaming. The console also comes with 2 joypads, but these aren't the DualShock Rumble joypads that you got later on in the PlayStation 1's life. They're the original joypads, which mean games like Metal Gear Solid, where you go up against Psycho Mantis, won't be able to take on that cool feature where Psycho Mantis moves your controller around on the table. Now, the PlayStation Classic does use an open source emulator. It uses the PC-SX Reloaded, and this is the 3rd iteration of the PC-SX. Now, if you're thinking about purchasing this console, one of the things you have to consider is price. Now, it's £90 or $100 to buy this console. And one of the things that I looked at is how much cheaper would it be to buy the original console plus the games that I wanted. Now remember, if you do this, it won't be as plug and play as the Classic is, where you just kind of stick it into the back of your TV with your HDMI cable and off you go. You'd have to buy memory cards, the console, another joypad if you need it, and then the game that you wanted. But to help you in your decision, I've captured footage from every single game so you can see what the games are, and I've added the eBay market value for every single game that's on this list. So if you did want to go out and buy the original console and the original games as an alternative to the PlayStation Classic, you can go out there with some information at your fingertips to help you make that decision. Let's check out the games.
Silence. Okay.
Do the locals know what they're dealing with?
No.
I've got an ID match for Romer on level 1. Voodoo is on level 2. No location yet for Kravitz, and I don't see any sign of Aramon.
Copy. I'm on my way.
Next race features the freshest of the fresh riders around. Ready? Go!
Alright! Ready to go?
Racing Route 99 in Helter Skelter. 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go! It's showtime! Let's go!
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
Ready? Fight!
I can't see it from here. I'll let you decide the best COA. I'm counting on you, Snake.
Final round. Fight. You win. Final round. Fight.
And there you have it. Those are the 20 games that you get on the PlayStation Classic. And I definitely think that if you're a Persona fan and you are looking for this game, then that game alone is worth the purchase of the console. If you're a PlayStation fan and a PlayStation 1 fan, then you can check out 2 videos that I've made over here talking about the definitive game for the PlayStation and the best release title that came out for the PlayStation 1. And if you love retro gaming and you want some good old retro gaming goodness from me, then why not consider clicking on my little pixel head below.